there guys, so today I want to welcome you to the second episode of setting up a reef aquarium. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit about the substrate. In our first episode we were talking about the plumbing and I showed you a little bit about the pipes and how it looked when it was done. And so today we're going to talk about the substrate, and the substrate is basically the rocks and the sand that you put in a reef aquarium. Now there's basically mainly just two options when it comes to substrate. Some people prefer to have a bare bottom. That means they don't put any sand at all. It's just a glass bottom. But you know what? It doesn't really look that natural, doesn't really look that beautiful. But lots of people like to do it that way because it's easier to keep the aquarium clean, easier to maintain, because you don't have so much detritus or waste building up at the bottom. It's easy to take a siphon and just siphon out all of the dirt, but putting in sand gives it a more natural look, looks really beautiful. So I've decided that for my 100-gallon display tank, I'm going to be adding some substrate into that reef aquarium. So today we're going to be discussing, some of the choices and some of the differences that you get between different substrates. So you get black substrate and you get a whitish substrate. Now the black substrate looks really nice when it comes to corals. It really makes the colors pop, looks really nice. But the white substrate or the white sand is really nice. It reflects the light really nicely off of the sand and gives the fish also a very nice color. So I've decided that this time I'm going to go for the white substrate. Now in the past I used Red Sea pearl white live sand, and that was a very good choice, but it was quite fine, and so when the wave makers blow in the aquarium, it often blows away the sand and it gives it a very dusty look and the water doesn't look so clear. So today I'm going to show you the product that I chose to use for this new reef aquarium. So from Karud has got one option. It's called Fiji Pink. Now Fiji Pink is probably one of the most famous live sand that you get on the market. So Fiji Pink aragonite, it's not really pink color, but there are some pink pieces. It makes it look really natural, very nice. And what's nice about Fiji Pink is that the grain size is not too small, so that when the wave maker blows, it doesn't blow all over the tank. The water can still remain very clear. Now here in Thailand where I stay, they only have the live sand option. Now the difference between live sand and dry sand is that the live sand has got, as you don't know, maybe you can't see that clearly, but in this packet there's still water, and so it preserves some of the bacteria. So basically from deep the ocean floor, they take the sand, then they dry it out and they sort it by the different grain size, and then they put some bacteria, not the exact same bacteria that you get from the ocean. So I don't really know how helpful this really is, but most people agree that this helps the tank to actually cycle faster. And especially when it comes to the light that's going to shine in the tank, it's going to give the sand a very nice white color. So I got two of these packets of Karud Sea live sand Fiji Pink. And then I also got something else. This is another brand, also by Karud Sea. This is Ocean Direct. Now Ocean Direct basically is a newer technology, and they say this preserves up to 1,000 times more bacteria. So Ocean Direct takes the sand directly from the sea with the bacteria. So there's less water in this pack, but they still keep it moist. And so you actually get more sand in this pack. It's 20 pounds this pack. The other pack's also 20 pounds, but because this one has got less water, so you actually get more sand. It's still moist. The grain size of Ocean Direct, this is the normal one, the Caribbean live sand, and the grain size is about the same as the Fiji Pink one. And so I got two of these packs. I got two of the Fiji Pink, so we've got 4 packs, about 80 pounds of sand that we're going to add into the reef aquarium today. And so they say this is supposed to cycle even faster than the Fiji Pink one because it's got more bacteria, and they say that the plastic is special. They call it sea breathe technology. So the plastic is supposed to be special, allows for some, oxygen exchange or something like that, gas exchange that takes place, which is very important for keeping the bacteria alive and thriving. So I've got 2 of these packs, 2 of the Fiji Pink packs, and we can add it into the aquarium and aquascape and see what it looks like. So let's go back to the aquarium, and we're going to add the sand and also see what the rocks look like. So these are the rocks that I'm going to use in the Reef Aquarium. So these are custom made by a friend of mine. I showed him some pictures of rocks that I like, and then he just made it according to the picture that I showed him. So this is not a rock from the ocean. It's made from, basically it is from the ocean because it's sand that, like coral rock that's been crushed, and then he used the salt and he mixed it with some reef safe cement and he formed these rocks for me. So very, very nice. As you can see, very porous, lots of holes where bacteria can form, nice swim throughs for the fish. And so probably not enough rock yet for the Reef Aquarium, but enough for now just to start off, and I'll probably add a little bit more later. So let's add the sand to these beautiful rocks, and we're going to see what it looks like. So it's important to always put the rock on the glass first and then add the sand, because if you add the sand first and you put the rock on top, then when fish like sand shifting gobies or things like that, when they move the sand, they can actually cause the rocks to fall and it can crack your glass, and then it's just going to be chaos. So put the rocks on the glass first, and then we're going to add the sand all around at the base and make sure the rocks are nice and firm, and then we're going to see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after I've already put the sand inside the aquarium. So the sand bed is not too deep, and actually I only managed to use 3 of the 4 packs. So I used 60 pounds of reef sand for this aquarium. I ended up using the 2 Fiji Pink, Carib Sea Fiji Pink packs and 1 Ocean Direct Caribbean live sand. So I still have 1 live sand, Caribbean live sand, that I did not end up using. So I think it looks pretty good. Could have probably gone for a deep sand bed if I added the 4th pack, but I'm not really into a deep sand bed for this Reef Aquarium, so I'm just keeping it like this. And now it's time to add the water to this Reef Aquarium.